Am I audible, Vaibhav?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. So we make sure that your time is important right now. When is your date of interview?
Sir, it's 14th of February.
Okay. Good. Okay. We are going to start. Okay. So Vaibhav, you are already into services, right? You are in IRS, custom and indirect taxes, right?
Yes, sir.
So and how many months of experience you have?
Sir, about 2 months.
Okay, just 2 months. Have you done any kind of training or something?
Sir, we have started the training just in 9th of December. So we have undergoing like training with the GST module and like a law module, basic module.
Okay. And you're also a student of economics, optional, right?
Yes, sir.
There is a very important theory called nudge theory.
Yes, sir.
Ever heard of that theory?
Yes, sir.
So who gave the
Sir,
theory?
sir, I'm not exactly aware about the person who gave the theory, but sir, this theory talks about behavioral economics. So nudge implies that we tend to give people nudge so that they tend to behave in a particular way. For example, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan tend to nudge people to follow a cleaner way. So that's a
Can
part of nudge.
can we use the nudge theory in the tax compliance also?
Yes, sir. Definitely, we can use the nudge theory in tax compliance. For example, sir, we can reward honest taxpayer so that the honest taxpayer will have incentive to pay. So by that way, we can increase our tax base, also increase the tax revenue.
So how will you award the honest taxpayer, in what way?
Sir, if they are filing the ITR returns on time and if they are paying the taxes completely within the time frame, then definitely, sir, we can give a certificate,
We can give them.
a certification type that can nudge them to continue to pay. By
But
that.
what will that certificate help? In what terms?
So that certificate can help them to again continue. That is a kind of reward for continuation.
Do you
And
think it will
again,
work?
sorry, sir.
Do you think it will work?
Sir, I do think up to some extent it can work because most of the taxpayer do think that their contribution is not reflected in the economy or their if we give them a certification kind of like how they are important, definitely they will be more proud of doing that.
Uh, Recently in the budget, government discussed that we are going to bring a new tax code bill.
Yes, sir.
Now, as a student of economics, tell me that do we really need a reform, a new tax law, in terms of amendment? Because already we have done so much amendment in the last 10, 15 years in the direct tax.
Yes, sir. In my opinion, I do think that we need a new law because there are very much complication in the current tax law. For example, there are so many compliances that we need to follow, and they are not good. Like as economic survey has also highlighted, they are very much cumbersome. So we need to ensure that they should satisfy the canon of convenience or the taxation. So people should have the convenience in paying taxation. And again, sir, we have changed the new slabs and we are again reforming overall tax structure. So definitely including those areas will also be needed. So the new tax reform will help us to again improve the convenience and improve the law.
What is the cost of tax collection in India? Let's say 100 rupees is a tax, but what is the cost of tax collection in India?
Sir, I apologize. I am not aware. I will read about it.
Okay. Uh, Across when we talk about, let's say, whenever we talk about the tax system, a huge corpus of the tax goes to the state government, right?
Yes, sir.
And there is a debate among the economists also, especially the demand is coming from the state government, that the part of cess and surcharge is not being shared with state.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me that why cess and surcharge is not shared? First question. The second is that in the new finance commission recommendation that can have, how do we address this anomaly if you feel it is an anomaly?
So the purpose of SES is to have a taxation on top of it, on top of a tax, to ensure to for a particular cost for SES, and surcharge could be a tax on top of anything. There's no rule defined for it. So the surcharge and SES are used by central government for particular costs, for example, for educational or healthcare area. However, they are not shared. So I do agree that state government it should be part of central devolution fund, which is given by finance commission, 15 finance commission, like 41% should be shared. But it is not currently shared just because of special needs the center wants and specific fund that center needs for education and healthcare. Again, sir, for the 16th, the next finance commission can look into it, because sir, about 11% of fund like went for the census surcharge. Like for example, about 41% was given uh, for the by the 15th Finance Commission for devolution to states. However, only about 30% was effectively devoluted because of this remaining amount. So we need to include those areas because it is an effective for 20% or 20% of the overall devolution amount. So we need to include into the that devolution funds.
Does states have power to impose cess and surcharge?
So states do not have the power to impose as and such as.
Okay, as per Article 280 of Indian Constitution, the Finance Commission has power to devolve the tax. So in our Constitution, only tax is mentioned, or cess or surcharge is also mentioned somewhere.
I apologize. I have to read about it.
Okay, okay. Uh, so your father is in railways, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me that currently railway is in profit is in loss?
So, railway is in operating profit, sir. If we
Okay.
consider.
And what is the operating ratio?
Since it is 98.4 as per the latest budget data.
So that means if railway is generating a revenue of 100 rupees, 98.4 rupees is spending, just 1.6 rupees the savings on the operations,
Same.
right?
Yes, sir.
So that means if the investment in railway is coming, it is coming from the borrowings part, right?
Yes, sir. Borrowing.
So in the infrastructure financing, what are the sources of borrowing that government is currently undertaking?
So, government is undertaking, first of all, they are using government bond, because since the railway budget and union budget has been merged, so the railway department can use the borrowing like government securities to borrow. Second is the railway using asset monetization part. So railway is giving their asset for again on lease, and in that part they are getting return on it. So for example, railway station and other area. So that is also a source of income. Again, sir, advertisement and other areas are also like, for example, we have IRCTC company, which is a subsidiary of railway. So from those areas, they also earn. So these are the broad areas.
But these are government bond, already is government is borrowing, and it has a huge borrowing, 80% is the debt to GDP ratio. But if we have to find some innovative mechanism of borrowing, where is the money? Where we can generate the revenue?
So asset monetization, I do think is a good source, because
Can we
already
use long-term pension and insurance funds as the developed countries have used, maybe Japan, USA, because when they invested in the infrastructure, they use pension and insurance funds. Do you think that is a viable option?
yes, sir, we can use it. However, the returns the pension fund needs is quite high. So again, if we use those funds, definitely our cost of fund will increase. So we again need to balance those things. But up to we can make a portfolio, sir, in which we can include pension fund, other asset monetization, and some borrowing, and make sure that the cost of borrowing and risk should be minimum.
Uh, so railway is now experimenting with bullet trains, and we might see bullet train in coming years.
Yes,
So
sir.
at one end, we have a huge poverty. There is income inequality. The per capita income is just hardly 2 lakh rupees per annum. So do you think that project like bullet train are drain on the resources of the country?
Sir, I beg to differ on that part. Sir, I have a different opinion. Sir, bullet train is needed because of economic growth. It not only leads to just uh, fulfilling the need of upper class, it will help in the multiplier effect. For example, when we are building the railway, the construction is going on, which is creating multiple jobs. Again, there will be growth of multiple towns, and there will multiple jobs will be created. That will help again to boost the economy. And again, sir, railway is also launching Amrit Bharat trains and again increasing the coaches in normal trains, general coaches. So that will again balance the social needs as well as the again developmental needs and economic needs.
You are a mechanical engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
So what technology we are using in bullet trains?
So bullet train is based on again several technology. First is that they are using a ballastless tracks, sir, which are a track which is continuous rather than normal track that we use in conventional train. Again, sir, in the rolling track they are using advanced vibration based control system to control the vibration so that their train can reach about 300 km per hour. And so overall, if I talk about the comfort, so sir, they are using the automatic turning based system. For example, when train bends on the corner, the overall bogies turn so that there should be a comfort. And again, they can travel at a higher speed. So these are
So
the broad.
all these technologies are being used in the current bullet train system that we have?
Yes, sir. We are planning to use it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're from UP, right?
Yes, sir.
Which place in UP?
So I'm from Tundla, Uttar Pradesh. It's in the Firozabad district.
Can you tell me, because when we go to Tundla via train, there is a very
Yes, sir.
some famous item that you get in railway station. What is that?
Sir, there's although there several items, but the famous is the Hira Alki Kulfi, which is famous. And
Mhm.
again, sir, the in the fast food we used to have bedi and sabji, which is again fast food type of thing. And
Mhm.
we also used to get petha, which is nearby from Agra.
Okay. In one district, one product. Do we have any product from Tundla?
Sir, for the overall district from Firozabad, we have a glass product as a product from Firozabad district.
Mhm.
And so most, if I talk specifically, so these are the glass bangles, Suhag Nagri. So we call Firozabad as Suhag Nagri.
Okay, okay, okay. The glass. So Firozabad is famous for glass bangles, right?
Yes, sir.
So now bangles is something which is in, of course, demand pan India level. Can you tell me the challenges faced by the glass product or bangle industry in your city or hometown?
So there are several challenges our district face recently after the war, that the Russia-Ukraine war and again the Israel-Hamas war. So, sir, the Firozabad is not only specialized in the glass bangles but also in the artifacts and again chemical glassware items. So, due to war-led issue, the overall demand for exports had decreased. So this led to a overall downturn in the Firozabad district. Again, sir, in the as we see the nearby hubs like the for example Raigad district in Karnataka also produce glassware. So there's a rising competition between the nation between in the region. And again, sir, cheap Chinese glassware is also coming into India. So that is also harming our district.
So how government is trying to maybe portray or showcase the talent of the Firozabad, especially this in the one district, one product?
Yes, sir. Sir, UP government has recently launched in 2023. They launched UP Investor Summit, in which they promised to have 14,000 crore of investment in specifically glass sector. So several international companies were planning to set up their plants in Firozabad. For example, Borosel and again Posho company. So by that way, I think, sir, there could be increase in economies of scale and the Firozabad district can gain.
Your hobby is diary writing.
Yes, sir.
How often you write?
So I write daily, sir.
So what exactly you write? Your daily routine, everything.
Yes, sir. I write like what, how do I want to remember the day? For example, if something good happened to me, I used to write that. If I'm feeling something, if I'm worried, then I used to write that. Again, used to write gratitude. For example, someone has helped me in a good way without selflessly. I used to write that. And creative things are also sometimes.
Mhm. During World War II, there is a very famous diary writing done by a girl. What is the name of that?
So Annie Frank.
Annie Frank. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you read about Annie Frank?
Sir, I'm broadly aware about her.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes, Vaibhav, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So what does Vaibhav mean?
Sir, Vaibhav in Hindu mythology implies prosperity and overall wealth.
Overall wealth. Okay. Vaibhav, yesterday we had a exit poll related with Delhi. So how do you see these exit polls? Do you think there should be a ban on this opinion poll and exit poll? Because there have been various scenarios where exit polls have been gone wrong, and in some cases also opposition party have alleged that it even creates a disturbance in the stock market also. So what are your views? Should exit poll be banned or opinion poll be banned in India?
Sir, I do think that exit poll and opinion poll are part of right to freedom of speech. So people have right to speak about everything, but again, we need to balance with the electoral process that we have. So considering that the overall process, the exit poll, like after polling, we can have the exit polls. So there is no harm in having that. But we also need to make sure that the poll bound authority should follow a transparent and independent method. They should not use manipulation kind of things so that people are manipulated. So election commission can put some guidelines so that they use a transparent and fact-based method to uh, calculate the opinion and exit.
So your father is an Indian Railway.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think? What are the reforms that is required in Indian Railway?
So there are several reforms are required. However, the key is the safety, sir. We have seen the past year there's several accidents that happened in the Indian Railway. So we need to improve the safety. First and foremost is the track safety, sir. We need to have automatic track health monitoring system, and also we need to increase our welfare about the driver health, the loco pilot who drive the train. The second, sir, again is about the infrastructure. We need to improve the infrastructure. For example, a small station do not have the accessibility for physically disabled people, and again to reach connect with the nearby town. That we can improve. And so, thirdly, we spend more on pension and salary. So we need to reduce on that part. We need to improve all efficiency of the department so that the railway can become somehow profitable.
As you said about we need to improve our infrastructure in railway. Recently, a year before, we had a scheme called Amrit Bharat Station Scheme. Are you aware about
Yes,
it?
sir.
What
Yes,
it
I'm
is?
aware.
Right.
So Amrit Bharat scheme want to redevelop the railway station in the country, around the country, and it want to connect with the PM Gati Shakti mission. So they want to ensure multimodal connectivity.
So how many railway stations are being envisaged for the modernization in that scheme?
So initially there were like 1400, and after that some railway station also increased. And so my hometown, like Tundla railway station, is also part of Amrit Bharat.
Okay. So what are the uniqueness about Vande Bharat train that has been used currently?
Yes, sir. Vande Bharat train first is their bogie. So their bogie is advanced from the LHB bogie, which we were using before. So they have advanced vibration control, again advanced braking system that they have. Second is they have multiple driving unit in the train, so that helps in better braking and again better acceleration. Third, they have better amenities. For example, automatic door closing, better toilets, or larger space in inside the train. And so these are the, I think, three key areas which are better.
So currently you are in IRS and customs and I think right. So there is one of the major issue which is ongoing in GST, that is regarding fake bill and bogus billing
Yes, sir.
scam that regarding ITC part, you might be aware. So what
Yes,
are
sir.
your views on it and how you can overcome it?
So yes, I am aware about it. The ITC scam is very prominent issue in the department, and several pending cases are there in my department. So, sir, in my opinion, it should be reduced. And again, we need to overall make our GST system in such a way that we could resolve these cases. So for example, we have issue with the GST tribunal. Currently, we do not have a functional GST tribunal in India. This leads to lack of uh, this leads to pendency of cases. Like currently, so there's no one, no and like no ITC fraud person has punished in India. This is the official data of GST. So this is very concerning because we need to have that better appellate system. Second is there is a flaw in the GST Act. There's some provision in the GST Act where people can claim the ITC through round tripping and again circular tripping. So by that we need to again reform those acts. Thirdly, sir, we need to use AI and other artificial intelligence data analytics to see who are all those people who are doing it. So these area I think we need to reform.
Okay. As we have seen, one of the major reform which came in the budget regarding direct tax, regarding the income tax slab up to 12 lakh. What do you think? What is the major reform which is required in indirect tax?
So one of the major reform is to ensure the appellate judicial system should be functional. That's the first reform. Second should be the use of technology and AI. Already we are doing it, but we should make it more of faceless. For example, Customs Department is planning to become a faceless by 2026, or we can use it to like we can improve it further, and again we can implement it in like GST also. Thirdly, sir, there's an issue of indirect multiple taxes in the indirect, for example, GST, and again multiple rates issue that we need to resolve. And so, fourthly, there's a complication service tax. For example, when we talk about services like Ola and Uber, there's a complication like whom to charge, whom to not charge. So this is leading to again complication and again lack of ways of doing. So we need to resolve.
What are the three major things about UP that you like?
The first is its culture. I like UP is very diverse. Every region has a unique culture. Especially we have a Braj culture in our Tundla, Uttar Pradesh. So second is vastness. Second, like we have large topography from Saharanpur to Lalitpur. We see like from Himalayas, foothills of Himalayas to again the Vindhyas. So that kind of diversity is there. And so thirdly, like we are in a Gangetic plain, so we have a flourishing agriculture and again industries, the western part of it.
So what do you feel? What is your weakness?
Sir, my weakness is first is sir, I am quality oriented person. So I do most of the time focus on quality. So
Don't you think this is
sometimes,
your strength?
so I agree, but sometimes sir, work demands to be quantity oriented. Like we need to deliver rather than quality oriented. So that I think sometimes counteracts. Second, I think sir is multitasking. Sometimes I used to do multitasking, and that's I think sometimes harm.
I think this all are your.
So I apologize, sir.
Yes.
I was not able to.
I believe all these are your strength. That it is not your weakness.
Okay.
Okay. As you are a student of economics,
Yes,
have you heard about gig economy?
yes, sir.
So, what are the challenges related with the gig economy in India, and what are the reforms which is required?
So first is the social security issue that in the gig economy, people in gig economy do not have social security like healthcare and other pension things. So we need to improve that. The current budget focuses also on that part. The second thing is that, sir, again, the contractual nature of work, like the working condition is not good. The hiring firing culture in the economy is also not good. Like Zomato, Swiggy people have done several times strikes in India. We have seen that. Thirdly, sir, overall, it is not so too much safe for the working females who used to work in night, for example, Zomato delivery work, and we have seen several harassment cases also. So we need to all improve the wages, second, social security, and workplace safety. So these are the three key reforms.
What is the difference between made in India and make in India?
I apologize. I have to read about it.
What do you feel right now? Currently, we are passing through startup boom or startup bubble.
Sir, we are passing through startup boom, I think, because we have startups in several domains, and it is including from space domain to high tech technological domain to IT based domain. So we are growing in that sense. So I think it's a startup boom. Startup bubble could be we could say that startup bubble was there in 2021 2020 when there's a bump in funding, like most of the investors were pumping the money in the startups. But right now I think because of increase in Fed rate and other things, global geopolitics, right now I think the bubble, there's no bubble, everything is good.
Which is the latest constitutional amendment?
Sorry, I apologize, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. So my last question, what are your views on judicial activism? Is judicial activism beneficial for democracy or not?
So judicial activism is beneficial for democracy because it ensures checks and balances, and again fulfills the legislative vacuums. However, judicial overreach is not good. We need to make sure that judiciary should not encroach on the legislative and executive domain because they are not experts and they do not enjoy the majority view. So we need to
What is the
follow
difference between judicial activism and overreach?
the judicial activism is like judiciary is filling the gap of legislative, like when there's no policy. For example, Vesaka guidelines could be example of judicial activism. However, judicial overreach is like judiciary is going beyond their duty, like they are encroaching in the domain of executive. For example, the national anthem in the playing of national anthem in cinema hall was a kind can be called as a judicial overreach. So judiciary should balance it. Judiciary should go for judicial activism, and as Supreme Court said, we need to follow judicial restraint up to some extent.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Vaibhav, I think you're a good candidate. You're already in services, and there are you filled your DAF quite intelligently. You've not put much there. One
Yes,
area we did not check is nutrition awareness and powerlifting. These are another
yes,
two areas where you can get questions. One question I always also feel that you are working in a job where you are getting a salary of 1.75 lakh rupees and now you are getting a half salary, of that.
yes, sir.
So they might ask a question there. Overall, I think it was a good interview. You have a good personality. Your knowledge level is good. One area I always feel that in spite of you being in service for 2 months, I think taxes will be definitely a big area where a lot of questions might be asked. And I think you handled the questions well. The answers that you had less knowledge, you kind of said that I don't have the information. Also, the questions on the nudge theory. Nudge theory is given by Richard Thaler, right? So it is given by Richard Thaler, and he got Nobel Prize for that 2 years ago, right? So then, of course, economics is an optional. So this is an area again, a lot of questions might be asked because economics is again a wide area, very prominent area. And your interview date is just on 14th Feb. So we have just passed budget. So budget economic survey will always be an area where questions would be there. In the areas of technology and bullet train, I think your answers were pretty bang on correct. Okay, you impressed me rather. Though in the borrowings part, I felt that answer could have been better. How railways funding. So look into funding of the railways. How the asset monetization. Now you go into now what is the way through which railway is funding the dedicated freight corridors are concerned, or these are big projects that are going on right now. So you need to know the funding mechanism. This is a part of your economics, I believe, and the borrowing part would be there. So overall, I would say it's a good effort, and there's nothing much I have to say. Just maintain that momentum. How much did you get in the last interview?
So I got 183.
180. So I think pretty much is clear, but you can score 200. That is what you have a potential of scoring 200. Also because you are in services, so the things will align with that. However, we have to, again, it will all depend on the performance that you have. There's nothing to lose attitude you have. You go with all your positive energy. And I think you have that potential. Just maintain that momentum. One thing that I would say is that treat it as an interview wherein you go as a learner, go as a student, Okay, you got 180 does not mean that that number will repeat. That is a possibility based on your performance. But since you're in services, that is added advantage. Okay. So that is what I would say. Over to you, sir.
Yes, Vaibhav, how you felt? How was your interview?
So I think it is good, but I think I can definitely, I
It
could
was
have
very
given
good, I
better.
would say. First of all, speaking about your personality, you have very good personality and you have a smiling face, which makes the environment even in the online part, pleasant, I would say. So your smiling personality is the best asset of yours, I would say. Humbleness was being reflected, communication, clarity, everything. And even you have a very good gesture, like I apologize and everything. So regarding the personality part, everything is perfect, I would say. You have very good diverse knowledge. First of all, talking about railway, you have a very good knowledge about the railway part. You were very clear. Almost you were aware about Amrit Bharat station scheme, the uniqueness of, I would say, Vande Bharat, what are the reforms which is required in railway. Even the sir, which have Pramod sir, which asked, so the knowledge of railway was very good, I would say. Even taxation and economics knowledge, and also up to the mark, I would say. Somewhere the point which I felt like a repetition was there. The question which I asked in GST and the same points you were repeated in the budget also. So I think it was like you didn't had at that point some innovative thing or some new thing to tell about. I think you repeated the same point, the questions which asked in GST also, and you repeated the same point in the budget part also. What are the reforms? So
Okay.
I think some innovation can be there over there.
Okay, sir.
Then just a second. Even what are your views on exit poll and opinion poll? I think a balanced answer you had. Even gig economy, weaknesses and strength. I would say your answer was good. I won't say it was not good, but try to frame some more better answer if you can, if you have, if it is realistic. I would say.
Yes, sir. But sir, whenever I say any weakness,
Hmm.
there can be counter questions. So I thought, okay,
Ah, yes, that can be counter question. Yes. So somewhere answering this way in diplomatics, I would say it's okay, not an issue.
okay, okay, sir.
Uh, Almost good things about UP, startup boom, startup bubble. You had a good knowledge. Then, just learning about Made in India, Make in India, some
Yes, sir.
small things. Just a second. Latest constitutional amendment, I would say, brush up your
Yes, sir.
polity, basic knowledges that was related with the reservation of women in the parliamentary institutions. 1/3 seats are being reserved for women. So go with the latest constitutional amendments. Brush up the current affairs and basic polity things, I would say.
Okay, sir.
Take it. Overall, you are very good candidate. Very high chances you will be going above 190 this time.
Sir, Sir, I will try, sir.
Yes.
It's very difficult for me to manage the studies as well as the training.
So I
So
think
I
yes.
got some odd days off. So I will try to revise all those things. I'm revising.
Your
Try to.
profile is an added advantage. Plus, main thing, best part of yours, you have a very good diverse knowledge. Any on railway, you had a very good answers. On economics, you had a very good answers. On taxation, you had a very good answers. Even on your home district, Tumla, you were aware about anything, everything, even of UP also. So you have a very good diverse point. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.